Hello and welcome to TV Abraham and Niger Innis reports the Trump Revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, you are part of a unique adventure. This is our very first podcast, and we are not only going to report history, we're going to make a little history ourselves. The vision for this podcast is to discuss the Trump Revolution in totality: domestic policy, foreign policy, economic policy. And in particular, I believe we're in a great time. We're at a unique moment in history. I believe that historians are going to look back at this era and say that this is Trump's golden age for America and the world. Let's talk about America first, which is the foundation of Trump's vision economically, foreign policy wise, and domestic policy. We're going to discuss America First agenda, Trump's America First agenda. We'll discuss the history of America First and how President Trump's vision of America First is quite different. Some familiar strains, but quite different as well. In domestic policy, we're going to discuss his reforms, his reimagining of the federal government, the bringing back or revival, if you will, of the new federalism, something that it seems that we've gotten away from over the last century. When it comes to foreign policy, we're going to discuss President Trump's vision of peace through strength. Or another way to put it is America wearing velvet gloves that covers an iron fist. We're going to discuss President Trump's unique and finely tailored engagement with our adversaries that is not a forever engagement, but a specific, focused, tailored engagement with specific ends. And how this vision and this implementation of President Trump's foreign policy is not a sign of weakness, but prudence. It is not a sign of America retreating from the global stage, but a sign of our entire civilization's revival with American leadership. We're going to take a look at President Trump's first administration and how his engagement with Soleimani and his destruction of ISIS, and how in his second administration, his engagement with the Houthi rebels as they shot across the bow is an example of the Trump leadership style and America First foreign policy in action. Now, this podcast, Niger Innis presents the Trump Revolution on TV Abraham, is not an accident. It's not a coincidence. We are named this because we're paying tribute to President Trump's revolution of peace in the Middle East, called the Abraham Accords. Now, we recognize that for our friends and allies and brothers and sisters throughout the Middle East, the Abraham Accords is a historic initiative, but it's not an end in itself. The Abraham Accords are a living organism that is going to accelerate and grow in years to come. We are blessed with our incredible team of around the world and throughout the United States. We have the ability, and you will see our guests within the corridors of power of Washington, D.C., and throughout the United States, and in capitals all over our earth. We're going to discuss with these important guests and knowledgeable guests the diplomatic impact and strategic realignment in the Holy Land and what this means for the world. Now, you cannot get into discussion about foreign policy without discussing the tragedy that has taken place in Ukraine and Russia, and the vision that President Trump has to end the dying, end the killing, and replace it with a road to peace and prosperity. As I said before, we are blessed through our talented team of having policymakers and policy shapers from across America and around the globe. So buckle up, folks. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but it's going to be a fun, enriching endeavor that we engage in. And we'll do it with the philosophy of TLC. Now, most of you know TLC stands for tender love and care. And we will have that. But as a great human rights leader, one of the great civil rights leader of this century and the last century, Roy Innis said, TLC is not just tender love and care, but it also stands for truth, logic, and courage. And that is our vision. That is the philosophy, not just of Niger Innis Presents the Trump Revolution, but of the entire TV Abraham family. Thank you for being a part of history. Welcome to the adventure and our virgin voyage. May God bless you and bring you peace. Until next time, farewell.